It's time home spec inspections. Getting me doing an inspection this morning. 10784 Mountshire. Getting started a tad early this morning. This is an ASHI inspection. ASHI is the American Society of Home Inspectors. Copy of ASHI standards of practice is given with the home inspection contract and is the contract. Basically, the purpose of the inspection is make sure you're not buying into any major electromechanical structural problems. Big stuff, electrical, plumbing, furnace, structural stuff. Not necessarily looking for nickels and dimes. Not looking for holes in screens or dandelions, okay? We're looking for major issues. And if you do find major issues, then you follow up with an inspection, or not an inspection, but bids by contractors experienced in whatever field that is. Furnace, windows, electrical. Other than that, that's it. I'm going to start on the roof and work my way down. Okay, these are asphalt fiberglass architectural shingles. Look in pretty good shape. Look relatively new. I don't think, almost guarantee you they're not the original shingles. Probably a hail replacement here. You can check to see if they got permits and transferable warranties on it, but I'm not seeing any issues. Except me falling off the roof in the snow. Well, other than that, we should be pretty good to go. I don't see anything going on bad here. What you can do is put gutters up here and connect them to the other side, and it constantly drips in here. Wears out the shingles on the lower. Below it, definitely put gutters up here. This is a suggestion, it's not a defect. And just connect them here. You see how it's a little bit of water damage on stuff here. Not real worried about it, but make it a lot better. And then you can get big icicles come down here and crush the shingles. Holes in the shingles. And you got a pretty big, I don't know about big, but you got a hole right there. This is hardy board siding or concrete board. It's pretty good stuff, pretty much lasts forever. Other than that, few issues. You're never supposed to overdrive the nails either. So when you paint this, make sure you caulk all those overdriven nail holes. And you should be good to go. You generally want to take your shingles, or not your shingles, but your downspouts, take it to gray, down to the dirt. Don't drain it on the shingles. It wears out the shingles and overflows your lower gutters. You store here, taking all this rainwater here, taking it in here, and you got this cut end here, and it's draining right here into there. I'd close that off and run a downspout into the lower drain there. If you want, you don't have to. It's not a big deal. Get some more overdriven nail holes here. It actually voids the warranty on their siding, and in this hardy board siding, they crack the corners and stuff. There's a bunch of that. Different areas of the house too. These are original galvanized steel gutters. You see how they kind of rust there? If you want to extend the life of these, you can clean these gutters out and then you paint it with galvanized paint. You extend the life of these gutters quite a few years, and then don't be surprised if the ends, those end caps like that, they tend to leak and seep. And all you have to do with those is caulk them up with gutter caulk. But yeah, you can see kind of getting rusty. This loose synthetic stone here, it's kind of loose. I actually kind of kicked it back in there. It's mostly cosmetic. I'm not real worried about it. And the sidewalk sunk a tad. Tried to caulk it underneath there. You can re-caulk it again just to keep the water from going in there. You can see how the slab is cracked a tad here. Looks like it's cracked. What you don't want it to go, I don't think it's going back into the house, the slope. You want to keep the water away from the house. You may want to replace this slab eventually. These underground extensions are notorious for plugging up too, and I don't see where it daylights. Maybe out here. But you need to find the end of it, make sure it's working. A lot of times they crack underneath there, and that's what's causing this slab probably to move a tad. Looks like this slab is north facing, meaning you're going to have a bunch of snow, and that's how all this happens here. And then throwing this salt, or even the newer salts or whatever they call it now, kind of screw things up. Now, just so you know, the reason I'm mentioning this, it's mostly cosmetic. Don't waste money. Don't waste money on those epoxy skim coat things. They don't work. They'll work about 3 years and then they peel off, okay? And then this section down here is just going to have to be replaced. It's all cracked up. Good news is it doesn't have much to do with the house, but eventually you're going to have this replaced. Same story with this. Any underground extension is notorious for getting plugged up and squished, especially these flimsy little plastic things. If you're going to put it underground, make sure it's scheduled for the real plumbing pipe that has an end that you can see. Looks like you have a crawl space here. Generally, the rule of thumb is you just, now the way they do crawl spaces is they leave these things closed all year long, and they heat and air conditioning the crawl space, called conditioning the crawl space. They treat it as livable space, and that's the best way to do it. They've proven that opening these vents allow more moisture in there than drying it out. It doesn't dry it out, makes it worse. Ground extension, another underground extension, got a big, that's what happens to them in these plastic flimsy things. This thing here doesn't need to be underground anyway. I just take it and let it drain right out here, as long as it's about 8 feet away from the house. Okay, the deck was, most certainly probably, well, not probably, done without a permit. You need handrails going up here. Okay, these are not handrails, these are loops. I don't know what this goofy stuff is here. But yeah, this is not. And if you need a permit for this, which you may, because I don't know, it's 32 to 36 inches, usually they require a permit. If they don't have a permit for it, they may make you, they could actually make you tear it down, especially if a neighbor complains about it. So, looks like the ledger board was put on pretty good underneath here. Looks like they removed the siding, which they're supposed to do. Lag bolted it, looks like they flashed it too. That's actually pretty surprising. Whoever did the handrail thing is not anywhere near the way you're supposed to do it. So, and that's relatively easy to fix. Best thing to do with these crawl spaces, these window wells, is put a cover over them, plexiglass cover to keep the rain from going in there. And then you need to caulk your windows. It's that big gap right there. Caulk those gaps. You'd probably put backer rod in there first. That big old gap there, you can actually see the window house wrap there. So anyway, put backer rod and then caulk them and then cover these, and you should be good to go. A lot of these are installed wrong. You see how they cracked the hardy board, the concrete board? There's a bunch of that as you look at the house. Again, that's cosmetic. When they built the house, if the home inspector would have picked this up, the contractor would have fixed it. Fixing it isn't caulking over it, painting over it, okay? Fixing it is replacing the board. Here's your little bit of hail damage on your air conditioning compressor here. Now it's way too cold to fire this thing up. Fire it up in this cold weather, you can wreck them. You got oils and freons and stuff that don't move to the movable parts, real sluggish like molasses in there, and you can wreck them. They last about 15 years. This looks like it's original, so this is going to be an unknown of whether it really cools the house or not. You like maybe outside combustible air vents. I'm guessing you won't really want to restrict the airflow going in there like they did. I want to cut these out to get more air in there. So there's a little bit of hail damage on your screens too. So it's probably how and why they got a newer roof on there. You can check to see what kind of permits or warranties they have on a new roof. There, your sump pump dust just discharged. I'm just kind of wondering where all this water's coming from. You generally don't want, well, you don't want your water going into your sump pit. You got negative grade somehow. I don't see any that water's going underneath there, getting into your peripheral drain system, and eventually that system's going to fail, and then you're going to have water coming in. So now you'll hear engineers and the rest of them say, well, that's how it's supposed to work and all that. But eventually the peripheral drain pipe running around here, it's got little holes in it, collapse and fail. It takes about 10 to 15, 20 years for that to happen. And then you don't have that safety net of getting the water away from your house, and you don't know about it because the pump won't be pumping anymore. You won't be getting water into the pump or into the sump pit. Will be going underneath your slab into the wall, affecting the structure. And of course, this is your vacuum breaker sprinkler system. Looks like it's frozen here. 1, 2, 3 past repairs from not being winterized. So, and the top cap is cracked. That's usually from water freezing. So we can't test it, of course. I don't run these. Even in the summertime, I don't operate sprinklers. Okay, this is the inside of your breaker panel here. You got 200 amps coming in. You throw that to the left, shuts the power down. I don't see really any issues here. Got some open area for a breaker there. I don't know if the basement's finished, but usually use that to a sub panel to the basement to finish it. It looks pretty good. I don't see any issues here. I think we're good. Water stains here in the garage. This may still be leaking. We don't know. I think they put it on a new roof, but if they didn't replace the flashing with newer, bigger, better flashing, it'll still be leaking when you get your driving rain.
Right.
It's not pouring in here, but it did leak.
Or it was there at one time.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. You can't get a roofer up here to verify that it doesn't leak. Another water stain here in the garage here. Yeah, that's water. Okay, so you got a non-grounded outlet in the garage here. Plus, it's supposed to be a GFI. We found some major amateur electrical wire in the garage too, in the basement too. So we're going to have to probably either just remove all this yourself and do it right, or have an electrician out here. But this needs to be redone right. And the suspicion is what else he did behind the walls that we don't know about. This is major done wrong here. Great big gap in the threshold plate. The wood part's supposed to go underneath here. So you need to get that fixed or you're going to have My City in here. And there's no insulation. I mean, you got a big gap here. Insulation not working right anyway. A little cracked up concrete here. Patch, it doesn't work. So I don't know what to tell you to do with this. Here, it's not grounded here either, which is pretty scary, and it indicates scary stuff. In other words, this little third prong here, the ground plug, is not functional, and you can electrify stuff and hurt people, especially if it's a rental.
Yeah.
This garage door doesn't self-close. It's supposed to for safety issues. If you have a fire in the garage, you get all that smoke, and it has a chimney effect and all that stuff. It's supposed to self-close. relatively easy to fix. You just fire these self-closing little deals up. They have a little Allen wrench thing that goes in there.
Okay.
So you should have a pan with a drip with a drain underneath it for your washer so it doesn't flood your house if they malfunction. Rusty right here underneath the kitchen sink. You can see it leaking here, or used to leak, and all that water down there. Or water stains, I guess. Yeah, you might want to put a new, what do you call it? Yeah, they did the garbage disposal. The new disposal doesn't have a grommet on it. That should be done. French doors, is that what these are? Yeah. Is that what they are? And French doors don't have a deadbolt to lock it up here. I don't know if they just put this in or what. But you need to have this secured because it doesn't lock. The back door doesn't even lock even when you do lock it. And if a good wind would blow this thing right open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think it goes into the hole. A bunch of past water stains, we're guessing that were patched up here. Right, yeah, I saw that from in the kitchen. So anyway, we're going to make sure it doesn't leak anymore. It's going to be leaking if it isn't underneath there. These metal sinks, just replace them.
Either of those.
Okay, so anyway, you got a cracked window here. This is just dirt. Thought it was a broken vapor seal, so we're good. Upstairs in the master bath here, a little bit of leaking going on here. Well, not leaking, past leak. These steel sinks, I'd probably change these out. Chipped up anyway. You could probably caulk or replace the gaskets on the shower here, master shower. Okay, up in the attic. It doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look like anybody was crawling around up here, so that's good. Yeah, I don't really see any issues. I think we're good.
Just less water hitting it.
You need to probably tighten up your handrails here. Looks like you're off a little bit with your laser level. Should be about 1 3/4 and it's 3 inches. Shot across from there. Across the way here. So you're way off. Should be 1 3/4 and you're almost, what, 4 3/4? You're way off here.
That could explain.
Okay, got a broken TGI joints from that split when he put these lights in here. These lights all need to be stapled. This is done without a improper amateur open J box, open air splicing, without a electrician, without a permit. Same guy that probably did the top of the deck. This all needs to be torn out probably or done right. Open holes on your J box. And then the wires need to be stapled within 6 inches of any appliance, and that one isn't either on the one side. We covered the access hole with the deck here over the attic, over the garage here. If you finish the basement, you might have to cut that open to get out from underneath the deck. If you got mold and mildew growing underneath your vapor barrier in the crawl space, what you need to do is take the vapor barrier out, encapsulate the crawl space per complete basement systems methodologies, and then you should be good to go. But you do a real thick vapor barrier, sealed to the foundation wall with new insulation. You take this fiberglass stuff out, and then you condition it like I mentioned. You cover up the crawl space holes, and you leave this open, and you just, you actually have ducts in here. Here they are right there, see it? Here's your duct, so it's already set up like that. So why they put the vents in here is beyond me. And then you should be good to go. And then you can actually, that thick stuff that they use, you can actually use it for a little bit of storage. So yeah, this is what you got underneath your crawl space, or underneath your basement here. Nasty old mold mildew. You're probably supposed to have, well, no, not. Okay, you should have an expansion tank in here. And what else? You got combustion air. I think the flue should be okay, so that's all we might need. Expansion tank. So this is probably done without a permit too. It's pretty dirty here. You might want to have it cleaned and serviced. maybe even certified. I don't see anything diabolical with it. We'll fire it up, see how it works.
Stuff. Why wouldn't you
Okay,
seal that
yeah,
stuff?
they didn't. They didn't seal this up. None of this is sealed. None of these gaps here are sealed here. All should be sealed. Should be sealed in between here, sealed here. It's pretty much the conclusions of the inspection at 10784 mountshire Circle. And that's it.